Now, there's growing concern that the Fisheries Ministry may be willfully encouraging a dangerous illegal fishing practice called cycle. On Wednesday evening's edition of Joy News' Current Affairs show, Upfront, Deputy Fisheries Minister Francis Atekujo sought to justify the Fisheries Minister Elizabeth Afole-Quay's promise not to ban the illegal transshipment of fish, also known as cycle. He told the host, Kojo Singh, that the minister's apparent declaration of support for the illegal fishing practice was just a political comment.
When I say cycle, I don't mean the trade. I mean the word cycle.
Right.
Not good, not the target fish.
Okay.
So that fish, we wanted them to package it and bring it to Tema. So they started. After all this, they started packaging them, bringing them to Tema for us to record them, account, and then tax appropriately, and then they sell to the Elmina people. This business was going on until some of them were involved in an accident. And they said, no, we can't go to Tema. We want the thing here. Because we went to Tema, we had an accident, so we want the thing here. So that statement that she made that statement following what the meeting we had in Elmina, where we had agreed with the other people that for now, land the thing in Tema, let's record it. Of course, the catch is illegal, but at least when we have recorded them and we are selling them at Tema, our officers will record them and then the appropriate taxes will come to the state. So that illegal bit in the transshipment will be taken off.
Right.
So that is how she said that.
Your explanation is that she was making political talk.
No, I never said that. I said that we had a meeting in Elmina where we agreed with the boat owners and then the practitioners, the people who patronize cycle fish, that the boat owners should deliver these at Tema for the people to move from Elmina and Apam. These are the two locations to come to Tema to purchase.
So they should still...
That was at Elmina.
So they should still transship, but they should bring it to Tema instead of...
No, that's not transshipment. Transshipment is when you move it from one vessel to another vessel on the high seas, without the fish coming to the port to be counted and recorded.
So you're saying the trawlers should bring whatever they catch to Tema?
To Tema. They boss them. They are fishing, they boss them before they arrive. They should boss them, bring them, we will weigh them, know the quantity, record them, and then they pay the appropriate charges for that. And then they can sell to this particular size, small sizes. The association is there, they should sell to that association. The regular fish or the target fish, they sell to some women mainly in Tema. That should go to them. But this small fish should go to the association. In other words, we are not cutting off the business of the association, but we are regulating the illegal bit of it by allowing them to now land. Previously, they were not land in it, and it was all being recorded. That is why it's illegal. Illegal, IU is illegal, unreported, unregulated. So once they land, it is reported, and then once we are now controlling the seal, it is regulated.
Well, the Deputy Minister also admitted that there were Chinese vessel owners operating trawlers in Ghanaian waters. This also is illegal.
Last year, we commissioned a gear audit. We brought in the gear technologies from Rome, from FAO Rome, who came to audit the gears of our vessels. And we noticed that some are doing 30, 40-meter opening, which is quite illegal. And so we are enforcing the 10-meter opening. I don't know whether it's 10 meter, but we're enforcing the right. So the gear is the main issue, like I keep saying.
Right.
The idea is that once you catch them, once they have the wrong gear, they will always catch them. So the thing is address the gear. But when we address the gear, what I'm saying is that even the things I'm saying there in the past, I mean, we have stopped this landing at Tema. Now we are saying that we don't want it. That was the initial arrangement when we came in. As soon as we came in, that was the arrangement we put in to try to accommodate the situation and be able to manage it. So to be able to accommodate and manage it, that was what we put in place. That land them in Tema, we can record them, and then.
So that's not a plan you are following anymore.
No, it's not. No, we are not doing.
What are you doing now?
Now we have asked them to stop. They have written to us that they are stopping, or they have ceased. In fact, their word was suspended. We told them that we don't like suspended. Suspended means that you can come back to it later, but we want it abolished. Although we haven't gotten that letter, but they are saying in principle suspended means that. They themselves are doing self-regulation. If anybody goes against it, they will be punished. But let me tell you the other painful side. We have, as a result, also employed, when we came into office, we have placed human beings, Ghanaians, as observers.
Well, Professor Francis Nuno is with the Department of Fisheries at the University of Ghana and joins me over the telephone. Good morning to you, Prof. Over on Skype, this conversation is via Skype, rather, and he joins me. Well, thank you, Prof. You watched this conversation yesterday and actually made an intervention. What is your initial comment of the minister's viral video?
Yes, I think that message was some years ago. It was about 2 or 3 years ago that she did that. So that message is not current as at now. It would be good to hear from the minister her point as at now. Yes, yeah.
So you agree that this was a while back? Is it before we started enforcing the regulations?
Oh, the regulations have been there. When this government came in, they tried enforcing it for a while. And when they faced resistance, then this message came in. Yes, but I believe that currently, to the minister, she might have a different view.
Right. Let's talk about the practice itself. You know, why did we make this illegal? Can you explain?
Okay, so the point is that the trawlers are supposed to take fish that is coming from fish at the bottom of the sea. And when they go fishing, they take up everything. So the trawl gear is non-selective. Everything in its path will be captured. And so what it does is that it doesn't spare any fish. But when they go fishing, they end up, in recent times, catching pelagic fish instead of demersal fish. So the point is that the gear that they are using is not correct. By international law, every fish should be landed and recorded so that we can make sure that what is there, we'll be able to make laws to capture a good number so that we don't harm the entire population.
Okay. So, Prof, how does the minister who encouraged the people to do something that is illegal now do it well? How do you go back to tell them that this is actually the rules now and you can no longer do it? How do you change that kind of narrative when you've gone to them before to tell them to continue doing it and do it well? Hello, Prof, if you can hear me. I don't seem to have Prof. Okay, Prof. Professor Nunu, I'm not sure if you had my...
The minister must sit down.
Okay, so we seem to...
The stakeholders.
Hello, Professor Nunu?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I was asking how are we going to change the narrative when the same minister had gone to the people to encourage them to continue the practice?
Yeah, the same minister can sit down with the stakeholders one more time and dialogue as to what can be done, given that it is seen that it is destroying the resource and destroying the livelihood of the people. So the minister can say that, oh, I said this, but we have seen it over the period that it's not working. So we can change. We can change and come up with new regulations.
But just
that
as...
will protect the stock.
Okay, so yesterday the deputy minister did indicate that this practice also has both political and economic implications. So we have to take it slowly. I'm just wondering, if something is illegal, why do you try to soften your stance? I mean, you've already taken a position by making that particular act illegal.
Yes, that is the human face of the law that is subscribing to. But if we put the figures before the stakeholders to show that the resource is at a steep decline, and then the scientific and technical working group of SFMP has said that the fishery will collapse by the end of the year. If we put all these facts before them, I believe the fishers will understand and stop the practice.
Let's talk about the Chinese involvement in Ghana's industrial trawl sector as well. The understanding is that Ghanaians partner with some of these Chinese people to carry on something that is not allowed in our law. Help us understand what exactly this is.
Yes, by the law, there is no foreign vessel in Ghana, especially with respect to trawlers. The trawlers are supposed to be Ghanaian owned. So the Ghanaians go into a high purchase agreement with the Chinese or other foreign vessels, so that they sign an agreement for, let's say, 5 years, so that after 5 years, ownership will return to the Ghanaians. But what we see happening is that after the end of the period, new high purchase agreements are signed, so that the thing stays in the name of the Chinese. So the Ghanaians are sort of fronting for the Chinese. And what we can do is to stop the practice. All of us Ghanaians should make sure that at least, and the ministry should make sure that at least at the end of the 5 years, the people are not allowed to renew.
But something must be encouraging. Something must be encouraging the local people to do this.
Yeah, so we must encourage the local people to own the vessel. Else, for now, almost 95% is foreign owned. But on paper, they are Ghanaian.
Do you think the local people actually understand the implications of this?
I think so. They understand. They understand. But for economic gain, they must have a livelihood for economic gain. But we must think about the resource. The resource must be depleted. And as a nation, we are losing lots of money.
Hello, Professor Nuno? Hello, Professor Nuno? And I don't... Hello, Professor Nuno. I'm not sure if you're still on with me. Got a very last question to ask you before I let you go. Unfortunately, we seem to have lost Professor Nuno there, helping us understand this area, which we normally would hear of when it comes to the close season. That was the last question I wanted to ask, but hopefully we can reconnect and for him to end that. Okay, Professor Nuno is back with me. Professor Nuno, I wanted us to end with the close season. We're not there yet, but usually when it comes up, there's a lot of talk. When should be the close season, and when, what's not the appropriate time? So my question is, your expectations, have we begun that conversation? Hello, Professor Nuno.
Hello.
All right, great. Professor Nuno, I was asking for your, what your expectations are in terms of the close season this year.
The close season policy is a good one.
Yes, but we haven't...
But it must be taken in consonance with
enforcement
of the other laws, so that all the illegal fishing will stop. If they continue cycle, they continue light fishing, they continue using small mesh size, then the close season will not have the needed effect. So we should stop all the other illegality, and then the close season will be effective.
But my question was, has that conversation started? Because I remember last year the committee gave a different dates, and then we saw the minister agree to a different date as well. So are we coming back so that we don't go back to... That conversation has started. Okay, great. So there won't be...
Yes.
Okay.
The ministry has organized a stakeholders meeting sometime last month, and engagement is going on here and there with the ministry and the Fisheries Commission.
All right. We thank you for your analysis this morning. That's Professor Francis Nuno, who is a fisheries expert. We've got to move away from fishing, though. It was a normal day. 37-year-old Dennis Ayembela was heading to Bogatanga for the burial of his father, but a crash midway robbed him of the opportunity to say his final goodbye. It also robbed him of his joy, as a spinal injury has made him lose his ability to control his discharge of urine and feces. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this story for our Arrive Alive campaign to stop accidents on Garda's roads.
I am in Dennis's room. His sister Gloria is trying to get him in a reclining position for this interview, but the pain is simply unbearable. A tube-like device that stores his urine lies on the floor close to him. He sits to narrate to me how a speeding driver truncated his aspirations in his final year of studies to become a medical practitioner.
The police report that I managed to get, when you read the police report, they were saying that the driver of the trailer was the one who caused the accident because he was over speeding and then was sleeping at the same time. Some of the people got trapped in the bus, so they were trying to chisel and be able to get some out, though they were even dead. And in the process of doing, the bus caught fire. And then our driver is missing other people to ashes, living with only their schools.
He sustained a spinal injury which affected his ability to control urine flow and excreta.
I can't control. Yeah, I can't control it. That's why the urine bag is connected. Because if I were to be able to control, there's something that if I feel like urinating, I'll just take it in, put it in and urinate. Yeah.
So now you don't feel anything?
I don't feel my lower limbs, I don't feel anything. It just comes by it all. It just comes by it all. The same thing to when I'm going on private, it comes just like that. But, so as I sit, I have to be checking myself and all that.
Dennis says he's gradually losing his eyesight too.
I've been confined to one place. Even as I talk to you now, I have vision problems. You can imagine somebody just lying at one place for 10 years, this 10 years. Even as I'm talking to you, I can't see you clearly. I have vision problems now. I'm even losing my sight gradually. My life is going waste. My life is going waste. And at this my age, I still have a long way to go in life. So I'm really appealing to the general public, appealing to Ghanaians, and even the rest of the world, that anybody who watches me should please come to my aid. Please come to my aid.
His 25-year-old sister, Gloria Labrob, says she had to drop out of school to take care of his brother, who used to fund her education.
To take care of him. If he want water, I'm the one who remove and give it to him. He cannot do anything. Because of that, I'm not going anywhere. Just sitting at home. I'm not doing anything. My colleagues are finished school, some are working. Look at me. Now I'm in the house. I'm not doing anything.
A pastor at the Divine Faith Ministries, Reverend George Carty, has been trying to get support for Dennis.
I don't know him from him, but when I saw him, honestly, his story really moved me. So I continued to intercede on his behalf, prayer day in, day out. He can't do anything for the past 10 years. He's just confined to one place. He cannot do anything. We know God is able to do all, but he needs medical attention. If you look at the spinal, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a medical doctor, but to him, he needs a spinal reconstruction, and it involves a lot of money. A lot of money. He needs financial assistance. He needs financial support. So anybody watching, anywhere you are watching from, he needs financial support.
Well, you know, the way you drive could end somebody's dream. We'll stay with our campaign, Still Arrive Alive, And sharp and deadly curves, steep slopes, potholes, rain, night driving, and road debris. These are some of the causes of road accidents, according to research. Now, to help address these problems, the Engineering Club of the Bolgatanga Senior High School have come up with a science technology project of a miniature road on a hilly area, detailing how to prevent these kinds of accidents. The project was exhibited at the Bolgatanga, in Bolgatanga during Sci Tech Exhibition section at the Upper East Regional Qualifiers for this year's National Science and Maths Quiz. Correspondent Albert Sori has more.
It also costs human life, so we made this one.
Presenting the project are Rashida Yaregayin, a first-year student, as well as Joyce Awuni and Gideon Basiti, both second-year students of the Bolgatanga Senior High School, also known as Big Boss. With cardboards from empty boxes, together with glue and acrylic paint, their engineering club came up with this dummy of a road on a hill descending to normal ground. But they have designed their miniature road such that if applied in reality, it could help minimize the number of road accidents caused by different factors, for instance, rain.
So on this side, we got to, at the steep road, we got to know that when it rains, the roads are always slippery. So if you're a driver and you are driving on a steep, sometimes the brake will not help you because you can even apply the brake, but still the car would move. So we made this space here, which is called grooves, so that when it rains and falls on the road, it will move off, the rain will move off the road and go into the gutters, so that when a driver is coming, the driver will be able to move without any problem.
These young students have also thought about how to reduce road accidents caused by night driving or driving down steep slopes, and have presented that in their SciTech project.
On our roads, mostly the highways, we have some metals that they keep on the roadsides to prevent the car from moving off the road when the brake does not work. So we made this one, which should be made of reinforced cement. These are made of papers, but if we are applying it in real life, it has to be a reinforced cement, which should be slanted small, so that when the car is moving, there will be some centrifugal force which will bring the car back on the road, so that there will not be any accidents. And here about night drivings, mostly the Ghanaian roads, it's only one line, and if I'm a driver and I'm late or there's an emergency and there's no reflection to tell me that the other side there's a car coming, I might be like, then let me move to the other road so that I'll be able to move faster. So these reflections are made to make sure that when a driver is coming from the left side and another coming from the right side, the one coming from the left side, the head-on light will reflect on the reflections here, so that the other driver will know that, yeah, there's a car coming from the other side, so I shouldn't cross. And we made this in such a way that if it's being applied in the real life, it will be 100 centimeters wide, so that there will be more space between the two cars.
They have also included what they believe are improved road signages.
Mostly at sharp curves, when the driver is speeding, maybe you want fast to go somewhere. So when you come here, you always try maybe to still enter the other person's lane. But with this concrete barrier, when it comes, you'll be limited to his lane. So you not cross, and it will reduce road accidents. And here, the road debris, mostly roads that are constructed beside mountains. Some of them we have fallen rocks, and the rocks sometimes they fall on the road, and it causes a lot of damage. So we made this concrete wall, so that when the rocks fall, when they will come and hit the wall, then they just slip off this way. They will not get to the road.
The Upper East Regional Science and Mathematics Coordinator, Faustina Agetura, who is also in charge of project development, says she is impressed with the ideas these students and others before them have presented. She is, however, unhappy about the problem of lack of support for science projects in the Upper East region.
Navasco emerged the best project school in Kofrodia when the senior high school had their STME camp. Big Boss came second in Opokuwari on projects. Bongo fourth on project on the same ground. When we get to national, our best is first to fourth. So I think the region have our younger generation are suffocated with ideas, but we need to help them. I'm here to plead with NGOs, stakeholders, people of this region to embrace our senior high and basic schools. We can make it. We shouldn't just sit down and expect resources to come somewhere.
It is not clear whether or not the ideas presented by these students of the Bolgatanga Senior High School are already being applied in railroad engineering in Ghana. Nonetheless, their science technology project is clever, and with the right support for these students, they could have a bright future. Albert Sori, Joy News, Bolgatanga.
Absolutely brilliant there. Now, there are an influx of visitors to the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, as the city prepares to host Ghana's 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade. Excited residents have been enjoying especially rehearsals by the security agencies ahead of Friday's event. Children and adults have been trooping to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium to see security personnel prepare for Friday's event, characterized by helicopter display. Lava Firm's Erastus Asaridonko has been monitoring events in Kumasi ahead of Independence Day and now reports.
The euphoria of approaching Independence Day event is felt along the streets of Kumasi, decorated with beautiful Ghanaian flags flying to the breeze to the admiration of residents. The occasional helicopter flyovers add to the color and excitement. Most of the activities are happening at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium as rehearsals continue in earnest.
The Baba Yara Sports Stadium is agog with performances like these, and these are the masqueraders from the Western region. We have a lot of them coming in from the Western region, and we have some coming from the Northern region, and they are all treating residents of Kumasi to these tantalizing, very interesting dances as they prepare and rehearse for 6 March Independence Day.
Here at the popular Heroes Park of the Baba Yara Stadium, cultural dancers from various regions across Ghana display their rich traditional acts. Inside the main arena of the stadium, a crowd gathers to catch a glimpse of the displays by security personnel and school children. The military drills, personnel being dropped on ropes from helicopters, capture the attention of the crowd. Scores of military, police, fire service, immigration and other security personnel give a hint of what will happen on Friday as they march to mark the Independence Day. Heavy military equipment and armory are also on display.
They are used for ground detection of snipers and spotters. During the bars are snipers, the shoes, they provide.
Yeah, I think it's very nice because since I was born, this is the first time of witnessing such an event. So it's an opportunity for us, the young ones, to also have a feel of the independence celebration. So I think it's a nice opportunity given to Kumasi people. Yeah.
It's going on because it's a nice celebration or it's a nice activities. That's why I'm here.
What have you seen so far?
I've seen the NADMOs, the ambulance, the police, and the soldiers doing their own thing. And it's a marvelous thing. It's a good to see. This is the first time that this activity is coming to Kumasi. So it's a nice activity. I'm grateful.
So I'm here with somebody who might have seen Independence Day back in the day. So did you see Independence Day?
I was a very small boy, actually.
How old were you?
About 4 or 5, but I saw it.
How did it feel like? And watching it from the stadium many years back?
At that time, I was in the village. You know, in the village, you don't see any activity. But I've lived in Accra throughout and watched. This time, I've come to the stadium. Yeah, and I like it.
So this is a simulation of what to expect on Independence Day, Cease March. That is just 2 days away. Now, the rehearsal that has been going on in the Babayara Sports Stadium has attracted a number of people, including school children and older personalities who have thronged the stadium to catch a glimpse of what they won't be expecting, or perhaps they wouldn't have the opportunity to see firsthand on Cease March. Behind me is the march part. It's been going on for some time, and so we're going to see this and more come Friday, Independence Day. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaridonko, Babayara Sports Stadium, Kumasi.
And it's a reminder why we are so proud of 6th of March. And Kumasi is absolutely excited, embracing the event and having a week-long celebration, which ends with a jam ahead of tomorrow's event. This is the first time the Garden City is hosting the event, by the way, and the second time that it's been marked outside Accra since government decided to rotate the celebration of the event. So every region will have a feel of it. We'll bring you live coverage of that tomorrow, God willing, right here on Joy News. Now, the District Chief Executive for Nkwanta North District, John Jackson Jakayi, has lamented the poor state of roads in the Nkwanta North District. He said the dusty environment because of bad nature of roads in the area is responsible for the deteriorating health condition of the people. The DCE says the amount of dust inhaled by residents is responsible for the increasing cases of upper respiratory cases, which is among the top 10 OPD cases in the area. The DCE made the revelation during a working tour of the region by the Minister, Kwesi Owusu-Yeboah. Our correspondent Peter Senu has more.
The minister, before touring the Nkwanta North District, was at KJB and Nkwanta South to inaugurate fire and ambulance base. He was in the senior high schools in these areas to interact with students and teachers and inspected ongoing infrastructural projects. He was also at the KJB Health Center to see ongoing expansion works. At Hamansu in KJB, the minister again inspected the proposed site for the construction of district offices for the Ghana Standards and Food and Drugs Authorities at Pilaite 3, a border community to the Republic of Togo. Similar inspection was done around Tinjasi in the Nkwanta North District. The minister also inspected community water supply system at Damanko. It was at the Debar of Chiefs and People in the Nkwanta North District that the DCE, John Jackson Jakayi, revealed that the terrible road network coupled with its harmattan dust was affecting the health of the people in the area. A situation the DCE says has caused an increase in upper respiratory tract infections, which is one of the top 10 OPD cases in the district. The assembly has also been without the befitting administrative offices for the past 12 years since the creation of the district.
Basa is engulfed with dust, which is unbearable. This situation has resulted in upper respiratory tract infections among the top 10 OPD cases reported for the past 5 years. In 2019 alone, 2,157 cases were reported. This is alarming, and something needed to be done about it to safeguard the health of our people. Honorable Regional Minister, the district is relatively calm with isolated chieftaincy disputes. Reported issues of land disputes, among others, are all critically and technically being reviewed in consultation with our stakeholders to address these concerns. The District Security Committee is not relenting on its efforts in ensuring that life and property are protected at all times. The military detachment and the police are jointly monitoring the security situation for prompt action. The Assembly will take adequate steps to assist them with fuel and the needed logistics to improve their operations. I wish to quickly appeal to the leadership of the traditional authority to try to resolve their differences to make room for peace, which is prerequisite for development. The absence of an administrative office for the past 12 years since the creation of this district assembly has affected our delivery and revenue very badly. Honorable Regional Minister, it will interest you to note that most of our departments operate from rented premises, a situation that has placed enormous burden on the limited resources of the assembly.
Peter Senu for JoyNews.
You're still watching JoyNews Desk. Up next, we've got business. Emmanuel Abuaje-Riafi brings you stories in business. Stay with us.
We'll bring that story later on. Now, Ghana is going to spearhead trade talks and partnership as it hosts one of the largest gatherings of CEOs of trade promotion organizations at this year's World Trade Promotions Organization Conference to be held in May. The Ghana Exports Promotion Authority, GEPA, won the bid to host this year's event after beating fellow bidders Egypt, Turkey and Kenya. Speaking at the meeting with Ghana Export Promotion Authority on Ghana's readiness to host the conference, the Executive Director for International Trade Center, Dorothy Tambo, said hosting the event in Ghana is timely and as the nation hosts the headquarters of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
There has been a rising demand in the wake of recent financial sector challenges for universities and professional bodies to do more in preparing students for the challenges of the digital age financial service industry. This requires universities and the professional bodies to find innovative ways of training and educating their students. Mr. Chairman, studies have shown some of these gaps in the current educational model in training and finance and banking professionals. Most worrying and a big culprit in the causes of the financial crisis, ethics, continue to receive inadequate emphasis. Research shows that ethics education has been a minor area of interest in banking and finance, even though it was the major culprit in the issues we've had recently. The debate on whether or not ethics can be successfully
The World Trade Promotion Organization's conference is expected to host about 250 delegates from across the world. CEOs of trade promotion organizations will get to discuss innovations and effective practices to support export development and partnerships among other trade issues. With Ghana being the host of this year's event, the Executive Director of the International Trade Commission, Dorothy Tambo, said Ghana is the perfect host nation.
And we think this is an opportune time for us to be in Ghana, which we see as one of the leading countries that has provided leadership to the continent in terms of what can be done to ensure that you're moving over with the trade and development agenda. So it makes complete sense for us to be here in Ghana, but it also gives the opportunity to the different trade and investment support institutions to get together and discuss how the different institutions can function better in terms of fulfilling that objective of having a better Africa.
However, in the wake of the coronavirus and concerns of spreading at large gatherings, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority has assured safety measures will be put in place for the event.
So because of the coronavirus, we are giving ourselves up to the middle of April to make a firm decision on whether we should go ahead and hold it in May or postpone it. So as I'm talking to you, we are still watching the situation. It's not just being organized by GEPA alone. It's being organized between GEPA and International Trade Center, as well as stakeholders in a big event that involves the whole nation like this. So you have various organizations and agencies being a part of it. I talked about the national security for the security, for health. Purposely because of what is happening, we have to be in contact with them to know whether it is okay to go ahead and all of that. So we have people from all these agencies on the committee, the larger committee that is looking at putting it together. Yeah.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklu reporting.
Let's get back to our earlier story where the Ghana Stock Exchange, with support of the Association of Securities Exchange in Africa, is orienting businesses on the local base and its efficient sustainability.
Even though Ghana's financial markets continues to remain buoyant, investors home and abroad often lack the requisite market information needed to make investment decisions. In dealing with this challenge, the Ghana Stock Exchange, under the auspices of the Association of Securities Exchange in Africa, is taking some listed companies through sustainable reporting standards. It will help identify and manage risks and enable organizations to seize new opportunities. Ekwafeti is the MD of the Ghana Stock Exchange.
The key objective is to introduce our market to the global reporting standards, especially the non-financial reporting standards, apart from the financial, which most of them do.
Speaking to Joy Business, Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Reverend Daniel Ogbamitete, explained steps his outfit is taking to develop Ghana's financial market.
When it comes to environmental, social, and governance standards, which is feeding into the sustainable reporting, it's a trend which all over the world, especially global markets, are basically pursuing. Now, Ghana, the capital market in Ghana for that matter, we are looking at making a transition from a frontier market to an emerging market. That definitely would require that we scale up in terms of our reporting standards, what we require of issuers or our operators in terms of their operations, their activity. The whole concept about sustainable or sustainability reporting deals with a departure from the traditional focus on profitability metrics.
Ghana is ranked 117th out of 133 countries on the 2020 Financial Security Index.
And that's all in business. There'll be more business at midday. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Have a good morning.